Welcome to the Choose on Purpose podcast, where we live with intention. I am your host, Becky Ploutz, and today's Wisdom of Women is all around the Glisten Winter Wellness Retreat, where the ladies that are here today are discussing their experience with the wellness retreat. And we also have the creator, the visionary behind the Glisten Winter Wellness Retreat, Carissa Beeman. Carissa, please introduce yourself and share more about the vision of Glisten.
So I'm Carissa, and Carissa Beeman, founder and CEO of Moon Beeman Retreats and Events. I decided that I was going to stop helping other people make their events successful and maybe just run things the way that I would like to do it. And so that's where we are. I was like, all right, here we go. We're going to start a winter retreat. I had somebody at one of the other retreats I was helping with say, hey, we should do a winter retreat. And I was like, I like that idea. And they're like, I can help with this. And I was like, let's do it. And within a week, we had the hotel booked. We had presenters offering to help. We had an amazing lineup of workshops already, in the mix with trying to figure out what do we want, what do we don't want. So it was the first annual Glisten, and next year we are already in the planning stages of having our second annual Glisten Wellness Winter Retreat. I'm so excited. Um, I've got lots of ideas. I am idea queen. I cannot stop with the ideas. So it's the TMI, too many ideas sometimes. And this is where they can all come out and I can fill my cup. Real estate makes my money. The Moonbeamin retreats, that's what fills my cup. That's what makes me happy, right? So I wanted to be able to create that place where people can come and be authentic and explore different parts of who they might think they are, because they might not even know, right? You might come, I know exactly who I am. You might come be like, who am I? I don't know. And so everybody gets something different out of their experience with Moonbeam Men, because I like to have it be an individualized experience. And based on the feedback from our first event, I really feel like I was successful in that. And uh the words from Nadia when she explained her experience with Glisten in one word, I mean, tear. That's what I was hoping for. And I'm so glad that you were all able to witness and be a part of it. And I hope that many more of you jump on into next year. Look for it. Tickets on sale soon. Um, And I want to hear what you guys all want to see next year. Like, so I'm excited to hear all the things you liked and what you want to see next year. Um, Ecstatic dance is on the list.
Yeah, what I love about that is that it's something that like Nadia said, it's that expression, that acceptance, and specifically as you're saying this too about the retreat, it's like what I loved about it was that it was really like a choose your own adventure. It was like if you want to do the ecstatic dance, jump in. If you want to sit down and just like absorb the energy and watch people unfold and blossom in their own, discovery, like we were able to do that. It was a very safe space to just be inspired and express how we wanted. And there's no pictures of that. I was not able to capture that experience, but just sit and absorb that, which made it really, really safe and inspiring to just continued to do because I had personally done an ecstatic dance before, but it was very different. And I'm assuming they all are. And if you've never experienced it, I highly recommend you find one close to you, or of course come to the Glisten retreat next year and experience it with all of us who have now already done so.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
Carissa, what about one word for you? What would one word be to describe doing the thing that was a dream and a vision for you? And what's that one word maybe for you?
Connection, for sure. My word is connection. I am the connection queen. I love connecting with people. And sometimes it's hard for me to find the right people that I'm vibing with, right? Like, because I can get along with everybody, right? But like to find the people that I'm vibing with, I needed to put out my beacon and find my people, and they came out and I found them, and I'm going to continue to find my people. So all of you looking to find your peeps, if you are laid back and you like to grow and you like to learn, I think you're my people. Come on out.
I love it. I love it. My vision for this conversation was really to talk about like glisten and growth. So perfect. Right
Yeah,
in alignment
connection for
with
sure.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, connection was my word for sure. Growth is a wonderful word as well. Um, and I think I'm going to go into next year with an intentional word.
Hmm.
Mm,
Specifically for the retreat.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Nice. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Love that.
I've got a few ideas, so I can't wait to hear all yours.
I love it. Well, and this is a great segue. So I know that so Tara Parks, who I'm gonna go to next, was at the retreat and did a really cool creative experience to wrap up the whole weekend. And I know, Carissa, your word that you had painted was connection. So love that. And it goes right along with, the activity that Tara took us through. So I'm gonna move to Tara and ask Tara to introduce herself and also ask what might be your word to describe your own experience with attending and being at the Glisten retreat, Tara.
Sure, I'm Tara Parks, and I'm the artist that did the closeout for the retreat, um, and took everybody through kind of a reflection exercise that allowed people to reflect on their experiences throughout the retreat. And then we did a creative exercise with wood painting. And so I had brought the supplies, and everybody could create their own piece that they could take home with them at the end of the day, which was really neat. Um, I think the word for me that, um, although my word of the year is like transformation and vulnerability, the word from the retreat that really just resonated, like not resonated, it was like banging in my ears, was calm. And it was like so it's such a loud word, but it was like I was so calm the entire time. And I think it was a mix of the um, meditative state that, a lot of the experiences that we had were very, meditation oriented and, really geared towards kind of that inward, introspective types of, activities in, kind of that sort of self-work. And I really loved that a lot. And so that calm was really what I took away from the weekend. It was really awesome.
Mm, that is a great description of um I mean, I think of any retreat, right? Like, oh, it can be a lot of different things. And right, this is a wellness retreat. So I love also that we talked about at the very beginning, the first thing that we did as a community and gathered on that first night was talking about what is wellness for us, because there can be a lot of definitions and a lot of variations, but that you walked away feeling calm from the experience. It says a lot, when you're intentionally going to something that's for your wellness. So I love that. And thank you for sharing your words of the year. Like those are powerful words, even just for the year to move forward and know the action that you're taking with everything that you're doing is for transformation and vulnerability. And like that's definitely what happens as a byproduct of really being open and attending something or having a new experience for yourself. So Tara, for you, thinking about um self-care and wellness, how was that for you? How did that inspire you?
Um, I really took away the piece that really hit me the most, I think, was the first time that I experienced the supersonic soul circle, which was the meditative
Mm.
um, yoga band. And that's literally how they describe themselves on Facebook,
Yeah.
which is the best description I could possibly find. I've never experienced anything like that before. If you would have asked me, I would have said, no, I'll pass. I didn't think that I would actually enjoy something like that. But my entire purpose for going into the weekend was to be open to all experiences and to be really open-minded about what was happening. And so I wasn't just there as a presenter, I was really there to kind of take in the whole experience and to really, own everything that was happening around me and to really absorb all the things. And that was an amazing experience for me um, to hear it, to experience it. I never, like I said, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. So it was very, very powerful for me. I slept amazing that night, never thinking that I would actually sleep that well. But the other piece that was really powerful for me that stood out to me was the conscious connections exercise that we did on the second day on Saturday, actually, with Tink and what?
Lucas?
Tink and
Yes,
Lucas.
and Lucas. And the way that they presented the active listening exercise, and it went way beyond anything I've ever experienced before. I've done active listening exercises myself, and this was something that took that to a whole new level. And so I really love the way that they shared that with us and being able to actually put that into practice, with the other participants was it- really, really powerful because watching something, reading something, is one thing, but when you can actually do it and go through the experience and actually participate in it, I think you take away a lot more of that experience. So that was really, really amazing for me. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you brought up the conscious connection too. Like there's as you can tell, there was a lot of really deep, insightful, like beautiful experiences planned out with the variety of facilitators and the activities that that came together to make this just such a unique experience. And Tara, I agree. Like that the implementing of what we're learning that was available to us to have this space to kind of again play how we wanted to. Like I actually sat out for one of those exercises and just observed and got to capture and
Mhm.
like experience what was happening in the room. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, like is it bad if I don't want to participate? And like it wasn't that I didn't want to participate, but it was really like I wanted to absorb and see how everyone else was working the connection in the room and experience that from a different perspective, and the freedom to do that, right? The freedom to just kind of play how we wanted or decide if we wanted to go back to our room and not do something was totally available to us, which was such a powerful, experience to be able to impact however we chose to do that. And
Mhm.
like you, Tara, sitting through the meditation music the whole time, you stayed the whole time and were just
Did.
like, I'm gonna absorb it. I'm gonna play in
Yeah.
this and just see how it feels. And I mean, the benefit of that powerful sleeping, I mean, that's an amazing byproduct of being open to something that you said you wouldn't have even probably said yes if you knew really what it was.
Right, right. I wouldn't have, but I sang along with all the chants and all the mantras,
Yeah.
and I really, I went all in, and it was really an amazing experience. So I'm glad that I did.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I think that's really powerful, right? Even when it's just a couple of people that might like go full in and that openness. So when you're listening to this and you're like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm that open." Like just being courageous like in the moments to tap in to say like I'm gonna stay for 5 minutes and see how it goes. And then checking back in with yourself to see like, do I still feel like I need to stay? Do I want to stay? How is that? And again, it goes back to freedom. I think that's the word that I'm gonna go with for the retreat, is just the freedom um to decide how I wanted to play in the space and absorb it for myself is really coming through hearing everyone sharing and what's coming up for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go with freedom for me. All right, let me see. Maura, I'm gonna go to you because you're unmuted, and I love that I got to meet you for the first time at this experience, and would love to have you introduce yourself and also share what's a word that comes to mind for you for your experience with Glisten.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Amora, and I am just grateful to share and see you all again after that wonderful retreat. One word is tricky because I have too many words. I'll have to just say it was a huge gift, because it just in so many ways, how wonderful the retreat was. Yeah, a lot of it has been talked about, the lineup, the amazing things we did together, such a variety of just like grounded, fun activities that were insightful, some of them were like mind blowing, some of them were totally relaxing. But the overall thing too that made it so wonderful was just like the people and the friendliness and the kind of welcoming vibe. Everybody really was welcome to be themselves, and everybody was different, but yet we all like, there was connection, that like vibe that Carissa talked about, which I mean, meeting Carissa, I had no idea that she was just going to be so cool, that you were going to be so cool, Carissa, and like so fun. I was like, oh, she's putting on this amazing retreat. She must be pretty amazing. And, I expected that she would be like very busy and like, running the show. But yet, the minute you meet her, she's totally present, totally like a friend right away. And that's how I felt with so many people, like with you, Becky, and with everyone. It was just, it was really fun and welcoming, and it's just rippled out. The fact that we're here today, a month later, and talking about how it's changed our lives, and just it really has impacted me to that degree where I could say it actually did change my life, because, I am part of new communities because of Glisten and the people I met there, including yours, Becky, with, your on purpose. As soon as you told me about it, actually, I was asking you, you didn't really even tell me. I was asking more about what you did. And, having joined your community, that has helped me to like move beyond a lot of places I was stuck. It's given me community and courage to actually start doing the things that I've really wanted to do. And then also with Carissa and her like polka dot community, which are, all very much in my backyard. So now it's like new friends, new connections, new activities. Like Carissa's always planning amazing things. And now I literally have connections all over the world. So, I mean, it was a lot, and I'm just grateful. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you. And that is a powerful thing with retreats that I know is that's one of the big benefits, right? Is that you're meeting new people, yes, and then right when it's done well, when it's really in alignment with the people that show up, that community is the byproduct that happens when you bring people together, that there's a connection that flows, that we're able to be ourselves and find other people that are in that same energy, and are open. That community is the byproduct that happens at retreats, because the intention in my experience is always to change lives. Retreats and experiences like that are designed to help us break out of our comfort zones and really step out and do something new. And so I'm grateful that you also, right? I think you saw an ad as well and said yes to coming to Glisten. And so I wanted to ask you again, like another question, Maura, about you know, if did you discover any new wellness practices that maybe you've continued after the retreat? Um, Thinking about like the wellness theme. did anything stick with you or anything that was really like powerful for you from that experience?
I also was a newcomer to ecstatic dance and I totally loved it. I love dancing, so it was just a new space that I could have fun and just, so that was wonderful. I actually have been looking forward to doing another one of the ecstatic dance soon because they are, in my area in Chicago. Um, so that's something I'm going to continue with, for sure. And then I also really enjoyed the Tai Chi. I hadn't tried that before. It was something I wanted to try and I loved it. I loved the gong bath so much and like the sound healing was just phenomenal, relaxing, very connecting. So I hope to do more of all those things. So yeah, there was a few new things for me and they were all even the things that maybe I tried before, it was very unique because of, again, the people that presented and did the workshops. So it was just a great many new experiences. Even though I'm very familiar and do wellness and self-care and these types of things a lot.
Yeah, again, I love that. Like the nuance of like there's so many different modalities and experiences that come along with like wellness and self-care and thinking outside the box of, maybe what mainstream, right? The bath and the like the really specific things that, people do automatically or more intentionally, but then stepping out and doing these very new things that you're like, oh, I've never done that before. And I love that you highlighted the Qigong and the Gong meditation. I fell asleep during that, y'all, and like I can't even believe that I caught myself like half snoring twice during the Gong meditation. I was like, how do you fall asleep to a gong?
I may or may not have heard it. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, maybe, but it was okay either way. Again, another highlight of how, we played in the space however we wanted and had the freedom to just be ourselves and experience it the way that we needed to or we were choosing to at the time. So, yeah, thank you for highlighting those extra things, Maura. I'm glad that that was really helpful for someone again it's not new, but it's a new experience because you came open-minded and to get a different perspective of what was available to you. Powerful stuff. Love that. All right,
Yeah.
Erin, I would love to hear from you. What word would you like to share and introduce yourself about the Glisten retreat for you?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Erin. The word that is coming to mind for me with Glisten is the word create. So with this retreat being in January, I really wanted to like create the space in my calendar to like prioritize this. If I don't, as a woman, like it often doesn't happen. And so I did not know this when I signed up, but I found out later that I was like one of the first participants to say like yes to this. And so I just want to speak to like the women who are questioning like, oh, like do I do this thing? Is it worth it? Right? We have all those thoughts going through our head. And I wanted to do something for myself, but not by myself. And so I think this retreat really gave me that opportunity to do that. And I mean, Becky, you saw like we showed up the first night, we went into the spa, I got out my book and just sat by the pool. And I was like, every woman needs this. Like, whatever kind of worries or questions you have, like as soon as my win was almost like showing up, right?
Mhm.
And then as the rest of the weekend unfolded, right? Then I kind of figured out, oh, like this is why I'm here. Like this is what um like my soul needed.
Mhm.
And I think that's a really powerful too to say to like the other people in my life, like I need this. And because I know that I show up as a better wife, as a better friend, all of those things when I prioritize that. So,
Hmm.
yes.
So much good stuff in that, Erin.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking to the questioning, right? Like we're like, oh, investing in going to a retreat, not just money, right? Like that investment, but the time to step away from our everyday lives and how it can feel impossible sometimes. It can feel overwhelming because, then we step out from that reality, and then we, when we come back in, sometimes we feel a little bit overwhelmed, like we're behind, and that's not the case. But that those thoughts come, and those ideas of, well, can I? Yes, you can. I love that you're like, yes, you can do that. And you can choose to prioritize it and create that space. And, you know, Erin, you've been to a couple retreats with me now, and like the power of, I love that you said, I want to do something for yourself, but not by yourself. So even, right, the understanding that sign up for a retreat and then get a buddy or find someone else that like needs a retreat and get them to come with you, and room together, have another experience, traveling to get to the place together. That was one of the experiences. Tara, Erin, and I are in central Wisconsin, and the other ladies are all from Illinois. So it's really beautiful that we like came together in the middle, and had, some of us had people that we knew in the room and some of us didn't. And, to kind of free flow and the connection of, again, how we wanted to experience Glisten. It all just comes together totally on purpose, totally just, with intention, and maybe not our own, but the openness that comes with that. So, beautiful, beautiful. And I wanted to, you know, say thank you, Carissa, for, right away asking me about doing photography and capturing the experience and being a part of that, because I've done multiple retreats now, and like this was so different to the way of like the being all in the same place but having our own rooms, like the location, the fact that it was winter, and like we literally had a glistening weekend, like snow on the ground. It was just the scenery beautiful, the freedom to do the things, like it was all very well organized, and that vision was there. So I don't know. I'm grateful for the opportunity to experience it, to capture it, to be in the room, as you, as the dreamer, right, got to experience it as well. And I commend you for being the person that has the vision, but like you didn't feel like I have to do a workshop, I need to do all of these things. Like you were more participating and absorbing, which I love that that was actually mentioned a little bit earlier too, how we would think, the people that are doing the things are going to be running around, being all crazy and like all of that, like trying to do all the things. And when, again, this goes to connection and bringing people together and knowing that, we all got our parts. We all have our parts to do when we're experiencing things like this. And it does take a grounding to be able to organize, facilitate, and execute something to this degree, especially when you're bringing human people together with all their energy and all their baggage and the things that they brought, right? So does anyone have anything that you want to share, like wrapping up? If there is anything, and you can just come off mute, that you would like to say to a woman that's like, maybe, is there anything that you would want to say to her to say, hey, come to the Glisten retreat. This is for you. I would love to know what you would say to her.
I'd like to add off of what you were talking about, how it was such a beautiful retreat center with the snow literally glistening, in this lake setting. It was just so charming. And then also within that, within the space, Krista had this amazing room with a fireplace, and it was like large enough to hold everyone and the different musicians. It was the perfect container. The lighting was set up so special and really beautifully, and it just had such a warm, welcoming feeling. That fireplace in the room, just lights and warmth and just friendliness. So I just want to say that no matter what you participate, if you come to Glisten, you're just going to love it there, because it's absolutely adorable and really just great people. So yeah.
Thank you, Maura. I really appreciate you showing up and showing up without knowing anybody. And now being somebody I hold so dear to my heart, and I can't believe we've only known each other for a month. That seems like a lifetime already. Um, I'm very, very thankful for the location that I had found as well, because it was the perfect setting for what I was looking to have everybody experience, where they could not even do any of the workshops and still have an amazing time. Um, and for me participating, I did a lot of planning so that I could participate. I even had to pivot a little bit, sometimes we have to pivot, and I had an emergency one of the mornings, and guess what? Nobody even noticed because I had everything so planned that I didn't even have to show up and it just went. So, just giving the people a heads up, hey, this is going to be a little different or whatnot, everybody was so um, they gave me the grace that I was so desperately seeking and needed for in giving myself, right? Because as the planner, if something doesn't go as planned, oh my gosh, right? No, it just was even better, right? So I wanted to participate in a retreat that didn't have the, oh my God, there's so much to do, and I have to take a vacation after this retreat. I thought this was a retreat. So that I'm all the feedback I've been hearing is just so affirming that we should be doing this, and we can be, and we will be, right? This is a thing, maybe even more than just a winter thing. So
We are. Yes, I love it. We are Glisten. Um, Beautiful. Erin, did you want to share?
Well, I was gonna say too, how coming off of retreats, it's allowed me to kind of have access to those resources or connections. Like I really enjoyed Tara's, presentation with the art, and I have that now in my office space, and it's kind of putting this whole journey of like creative wellness, which I was not anticipating. Yeah, Becky, you're holding up your creation. And so you never know. I mean, I'm surprising myself with how I'm kind of implementing this now into my everyday life of using creativity for wellness, which who knew, right? And so that's another thing that I love about retreats is that we can now further those connections and be aware even of what other women are doing who attended the retreat, and how can I connect with them, right? Like now I can reach out to Tara because I know she does this other thing that I didn't even know was her thing. And that just brings me a lot of joy. So thank you for that.
Love it. Yeah, I'll quickly, Tara, before you go, I see you came off mute. Before you go, for anyone that's watching on the video, this is one of the pieces of wood that Tara brought, and it's coated. I don't know the proper word, but coated, so that it's nice. And then it's really incomplete. I needed more time, Tara. But mine was representing. So it's funny that I mentioned growth at the beginning, but I didn't realize it until we were talking that my intention with painting my piece of wood was about growing pains, and how, that discomfort comes together, and it's all very intentional and purposeful, whether I planned it that way or my creator planned it that way. It's how it unfolds, and it can feel painful, but there's such beauty in that unfolding that I really wanted to capture and walk away with from the Glisten experience. So yeah, thank you for that opportunity to bring it together in my mind, Tara, from the crafting creative side of bringing that home with us, like taking it from Glisten and coming back to my own space. And then I just chuckle at the actual painting, but that's part of my own experience with it.
You are very welcome. It was wonderful. It was super fun to be a participant and to be able to close out the retreat that way. And for anybody who's, maybe thinking whether or not they should maybe try it or not, or, wondering about whether or not they should invest in this, or, gosh, you're kind of on the fence. The biggest advice that I can give you is to go ahead and do it, because investing in yourself is never a loss. It's always good to invest in yourself. There's never a lose situation when you invest in yourself. And your wellness is an investment. So, we have to take that seriously. We have to be able to, because nobody else will. If we don't, then nobody else is going to take care of us. So, I would say, yes, treat yourself, do what you have to do, figure out a way, where there's a will, there's a way, right? But definitely get yourself to the next retreat.
I say, you choose you, boo.
There you go. Choose you.
Y'all,
Choose on
that
purpose.
too.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I want to close us out and say, if you're listening to this and it resonates with you, if you're like, oh, I know a friend, we need a retreat, we're going to go together, then make sure that you share this with them, have them tune in to what experiences we were all sharing and some behind the scenes insights around a very well received retreat. And if you're in the Midwest, you definitely need a wellness retreat. So we got your hookup. And I want to say again, thank you, ladies, for taking time to accept the invitation to come and chat about our experience and highlight the benefits that we received and continue to grow with, now being home and outside of the Glisten weekend, moving forward. So yeah, thank you for taking time to do this today. And for you listening, I want to remind you that, you have the power to make the choices in your life. If you are, thinking about wellness or thinking about self-care, you have the power to choose something different than you did yesterday. And love yourself, live fearlessly, do all things with purpose. And yes, moonbeeman.com. I'll have it all in the show notes where you can go find this information and connect with any of these ladies that shared today. And I'm your host, Becky Plautz. We will see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a great day.